Well, I agree with you, but it's Taiwan really has to do a number of things that right now politically are very difficult here. So I want Taiwan to. It's currently still trying to negotiate a free trade agreement with Singapore, with New Zealand. Those will be relatively simple. Because basically, I think New Zealand is trying to export its dairy products. They're not in competition on most things. So I think maybe those will go forward. One of the problems, as you allude to, is that China, every country that wants to have some sort of an agreement with Taiwan, they go to China first to try to get approval. My understanding is both Singapore and New Zealand checked with China. And I think China probably laid down certain conditions. What can a free trade agreement can be called? It can't be called that. It can't be called an agreement, probably, because an agreement is only between states. So that's a difficulty. I don't think the U.S. would care much about that, but some of the other countries that would participate in the TPP, that would be an issue. But to get to that point, I think there are a number of things that have to be done, for example, in the financial sector, to allow, for example, foreign banks to come in. It's ironic that I think we have a couple of international banks here, but not as many as I think there should be, considering Taiwan's economic importance. And that's why I think in part because there are regulations that keep them out.
咱来讲台湾要有 FTA， 还是讲要有 TPP 吼，咱可能要做真侪这政治的决定。拄则有讲到讲，咱台湾即嘛已经甲新加坡甲纽西兰咧谈 FTA 吼，真有即个可能吼来达成。尤其是这两个国家的这个 FTA 吼，可能较简单啦吼。像纽西兰跟咱台湾的这 FTA 这个协商吼，大概是涉及到奶制品吼 ，dairy products 奶制品。这咱台湾甲纽西兰吼，因为无竞争关系，所以被协议达成吼是很容易的。但是在这个协议的过程当中吼，有一个事情我们是必须要去注意的，就是讲中国的因素。中国会来主动其他国家，其他国家若要来甲咱台湾讲迄个自由贸易协定的时阵吼，因拢会去甲中国报备，中国点头了后，伊才会当来甲咱台湾讲，甚至中国会迄个干涉讲，到底即个协议的名称是啥货吼？因拢要管，甚至这些协议吼 ，agreement 是袂当叫做 agreement， 这协议是袂当叫做协议吼。中国拢要介入，因为这协议会互人感觉讲这是国家甲国家之间的这个行为啦吼。所以这中国的因素吼，咱爱注意啦吼。但是讲到美国的角色，美国的角色就是讲美国对这较无重视，中国对美国的压力吼，虽然是有，但是美国对中国的压力应该是会当处理。伊讲到一项讲最真重要就是说。金融啦，吼，我们台湾的金融应该要更加的开放，和其他的国家的这个银行界、金融界会当入来咱台湾。即摆问题就是讲，咱台湾有真侪这个规则吼 regulations 吼，这个规则对其他国家的这个金融业入来咱台湾吼，可能是无方便的。
We finally resolved the beef issue, but the beef issue was a dispute that went back 7 or 8 years. And even under Chen Shui-bian, there was a commitment made that we would open up to beef, Taiwan would open up to the U.S. beef. In fact, Taiwan doesn't produce much beef, so there was never any competition. But simply out of fear that, and the fear continues, that beef would lead to pork imports, although Taiwan currently produces about all the pork it can eat. Just because of that fear, the pork farmers, in a sense, were able to block progress on other U.S. trade issues for years. And their attitude in Washington, because we have politicians there as well, is that, well, if, Taiwan is refusing our beef, what's the point of discussing any other issues? Particularly because Taiwan wasn't producing any beef. So that indicates that just that one issue, the difficulty it is politically in Taiwan, and because it fears that certain producers or certain industries will be hurt, that makes Taiwan very not very interested actually in free trade, not entirely. So that's a problem that has to be addressed. You know, in the U.S. there are a lot of people who are unhappy about NAFTA, and it has to be carefully handled. You have to find alternatives for the people who will be affected by a free trade agreement. In the hope that in the long run, though, if it's truly free, it will be advantageous to both sides.
伊拄则讲到咱迄个过去即几单吼，咱大家心内拢有想着冲击的即个议题，就是牛排议题啦吼。咱讲这牛排议题吼，应该是迄个，若讲要为前算吼，应该是算到7、8年进前吼。伫个迄个陈水扁总统的时代吼，咱台湾甲美国都咧讨论即个牛排问题。其实来讲吼，咱台湾甲美国之间吼无即个牛排即个冲突，因为咱台湾生产足少牛排啦吼。但是有一个害怕，有一个担心，这担心就是讲，伊过来就是要来甲咱入这牛排。因为咱台湾生产牛排生产足济，所以讲惊伊讲美国的迄摆这牛排吼，伊甲咱台湾迄个牛排的即个产业吼，拢甲倒去吼，结果互咱台湾的这牛排生产的这迄个农业界吼，会当互咱台湾甲美国之间的这个提法，是讲更较广泛的迄贸易关系会当中断好几年啦。所以这个就凸显出来，我们台湾虽然在追求自由贸易，可是也凸显出来说，台湾在追求自由贸易的时候的一些困难度了哈，政治上面的这个困难度了哈。一直表面上看起来好像台湾想要自由贸易协定，可是很多其他的国家，其他国家感觉讲恁两这都无要开放性，看起来跟你敢若无真正要自由贸易啦吼。伊嘛讲到讲伫咧美国吼，美国因虽然讲迄阵签 NAFTA 就是北美自由贸易协定吼，嘛足侪人无欢喜的。但是一个足重要的关键就是政府爱知影讲，虾米人因为这个自由贸易会受到伤害，爱负责去处理，这是上重要的。
Okay, so we'll proceed with the Q&A. 吼，咱即摆开始，我看这个发言条吼，有诶真正是咧发言，毋是咧问问题吼。所以我对问问题先问起，可能无法度才拢创甲了吼，但无讲到你诶时，则请你原谅。系。好，即摆都来到现场吼，是这个日本来参议员。下头的这个演讲就是引述了哈。First question is for Dr. Stanton. Why do you think, although the improvements, the relationship is improving between between China and Taiwan, there's even more spy incidents?
Well, I think that's consistent with the fact that the military buildup continues, particularly across the strait. It's consistent with also industrial espionage that's going on. I think it's because in the final analysis, the leadership, I would imagine in Beijing, is hedging his bets. That if things don't work out the way it wants, in an evolutionary sense, China will have enormous leverage in other ways. Even though we have meetings with China and we talk about dialogue, there's also enormous espionage against the United States. You can go online and you'll see how many cases that have been uncovered in the United States, probably a lot more. There's also increasingly, of course, the evidence of cyber attacks, not only most of them originating from China, not only against our industries, but also against the military. So my concern is that as I said, now that China has more money to do things, some of the things they're doing are causes to concern for many countries. I think it makes you wonder about their ultimate motivations and their ultimate intentions.
中国这几年来迄个军费不断的增加啦，军队愈来愈强啦迄个因的领袖因的想法就是讲因要迄个用和平的手段但是若讲和平的手段无法度达到因的目标，因的目标就是统一，无法度达到这目标的时阵，伊后壁搁有即个军事的手段会当当做伊的靠山来甲台湾施压安尼啦伊嘛看到讲迄个军事武力的增加，加迄个cyber attack， 就是网络攻击的这个事件不断的增加。伊讲迄个中国的间谍行为或者是网络攻击，不只是针对台湾而已，全世界国家都有。那在美国的话你可以上网去看，就知道说中国有多少这个间谍是被抓到的那对美国不管是政府或者是企业界的这个网络的攻击也是一直存在的。那中国现在是比较有钱的，因此对其他国家来讲是越来挑战性是越高的。那这些都是我们必须要去注意的。
过来是吴大使的问题，这是加拿大台湾同乡会会长蒋会长的问题。伊讲目前加拿大保守党的多数党政府是近几年来最不理会或接受中国阿法行为的政府。民进党应加强和他加强关系。意思咧问看讲，民进党甲加拿大。
感谢这重要的，全世界大家国家民主国家对咱拢最重要的这牵涉到一寡问题，比如讲咱民进党伫咧党中央咱人有限啦我伫咧迄个中央党部咧上班佫三不五时会走美国所以我一个人。迄个领一份薪水，处理2项工作若要搁走加拿大这可能有一点困难但是迄个拄则迄个会长所讲的，加拿大对咱来讲实在是一个真重要国家啦咱若讲要有搁较济的即个甲国际其他国家发生关系的话可能咱就爱请较济人的。若讲要请较济人的话，就爱用较济钱的。若讲要需要较济钱的时阵才请大家斗相共。
讲这个，郭大神，讲这个中会长的第二个问题，讲台湾的经济是过度依赖中国民进党有啥物政策要对付这个物件？
这是一个真好的问题啦但是困难的所在就是讲，咱台湾即马是，咱民进党即马是反对党。所以政策毋是控制伫咧咱手所以即摆会当做的就是呼吁、说明，会当出去演讲，互大家知影，包括咱今日的迄个司徒文处长，都能够跟大家说明说，咱台湾经济是过度依赖中国，这是一个事实。未来若讲要改善这款情形，都爱等民进党议会转来执政的时阵，咱的政策才有法度我拄则讲的咱后一摆选举的时阵，毋通搁去选毋对。我相信大家顶摆选举的时阵选对，搁差一骹步。咱后摆一骹步甲打完，一定爱赢到。咱的经济才有法度进一步来甲其他国家来做发展。我会记较早迄个民进党执政的时阵除了讲迄个有南向政策以外，我嘛鼓励企业界去寻求其他的这个市场，包括讲。墨西哥甲咱的关系，经济关系，政府咧高度的成长。咱台湾甲东欧的这个贸易的关系，有高度的成长。咱台湾投资去英国、去德国，甚至去欧洲其他国家，都有高度的成长。所以，若讲执政者他的心是放在台湾的，如果执政者他的眼光是全世界的，他的政策就可以是全世界的。相对的即摆接者，咱讲拢甲人看到中国咱台湾就无用意啦。
过来是 from Garrett， 咱美国画法中部的工作人员Garrett，for Dr. Stanton. Professor Law referred to Ban Ki-moon's 2007 mistaken statements that according to Resolution 2758, Taiwan is considered part of China. Then the U.S. formally informed the UN that that was not the U.S. position. Can you elaborate on the U.S. rebut to Ban Ki-moon?
Well, back then, I'm not sure exactly what that exchange took place, but I know it's always been consistently our position at the UN. I was involved in a number of cases that we brought to the highest levels in the UN. Our concern that as more and more Chinese, mainland Chinese have become officials in the UN, they have, without the consensus of all members, adopted their own standards for example, I think earlier Ambassador Wu was referring to that, about what passport is acceptable. I know, to give a specific case, we had a young Taiwan student who wanted to participate in a model UN program in New York, and he was informed that he would not be allowed into the UN. If he had a Taiwan passport, he would have to get a Chinese mainland identity document. This was astonishing to us. We strongly protested it. By the time the issue was resolved, it was too late for the student to participate. We said that basically the bureaucracy was single-handedly interpreting things as the Chinese preferred them to be interpreted. I can't say we reached any success, though. This has been a problem in many UN agencies as well. But we said that is not the position of all the members of the UN. You know, it's apparent that there are secret, or at least now they've been revealed, but there were communications from the Chinese government to certain people, and basically folks they're more afraid of China than they are of us, because they basically kowtow to them.
Should I translate it back into English so that you can understand? 我来简单讲一下吼，就是讲施志文处长吼，伊提到讲，迄个联合国的这个政策吼，就是伫2007年的时候，联合国有一个迄个文书吼，表示说台湾在联合国的这个决议案之下吼，是隶属于中华人民共和国结果迄个美国政府去抗议啦吼，伊比较扩大的来看哦，就是说这个问题是越来越多的中国官员在联合国里面服务，中国的官员开始在介入联合国的一般的事务或者是官僚体系的这个事务来界定联合国可以对外的这些作为了包括刚刚所提到的这一封信，或者是说最近他还在处长任上的时候，有一个年轻台湾的学生想要去参加联合国相关的这个会议的活动结果因为伊摕台湾的护照，所以当入去迄个联合国叫伊一定都爱摕中国的这证件所以来互美国知影的时阵美国就去抗议但是愈来愈去愈到尾这个代志处理好势的时候迄活动已经结束啦伊会当讲的就是讲，虽然中国是采取这种行动来处理迄个国际组织的代志但是这款做法，不是其他国家所欢迎的，嘛，不是其他国家所同意的。
不过是一个黄建强先生的问题是第一个是这个请Dr. Stanton. He asked if China attacks Taiwan militarily, would U.S. according to Taiwan Relations Act came and protect Taiwan militarily. And if AIT diplomats, because of China's attacking Taiwan, would the U.S. send the warship to retrieve the Americans here?
Hope so. 希望是这样子。开玩笑。Well, I think anyone who studied the Taiwan Relations Act and the history of the relationship, is aware that there's always been the so-called ambiguity built into the policy. On the one hand, so that China will understand it doesn't have free rein, that we might respond. But the other hand, there's always been a fear, I think going back to the days of Chiang Kai-shek, that whoever's in charge of Taiwan might provoke a war, as unlikely as that now may seem. So I think the policy was always designed so that the American government would have the ability to react based on the circumstances. I think the more unprovoked, the more unjustifiable, the more violent the attack was, the more likely, in my personal view, there would be a response, depending on the circumstances. But it's always critical in these things, particularly because the U.S. is far away, the tyranny of distance. That's why it's all the more important that Taiwan have the ability to have some sort of self-defense until either the U.S. or other international factors, international outrage, would come to the defense of Taiwan. One of the fears is that this is one of my concerns about Taiwan's energy security. You don't even need an all-out attack. Taiwan becomes more and more vulnerable as its trade depends on China. And if there were a blockade of some kind, if there was something that didn't reach the level of creating international outrage, or that went on for some period of time, what would it do to the Taiwan economy? I remember when the missiles were fired by China in 96, I guess. I remember that the stock market dropped like considerably here. It hurt the economy just with the firing of a missile. So, but I can tell you that while there's a lot of planning and thinking that goes on, certainly Pacific Command, to think about all contingencies. And one of the problems is that it wouldn't only be Americans that would want to get out. There'd be other countries looking to us to get out if there were that. And I'm sure there'd probably be a lot of Taiwan people who want to get out. So, it's a very complicated issue, logistically, militarily. But of course, the great hope is that that can be avoided. Everybody's efforts need to go in avoiding that kind of contingency. But I think the policy of ambiguity in the view of Washington has always been quite successful.
TIA 就是讲台湾关系法里面美国政府是维持一个模糊的政策。那这个模糊的政策在过去几年之间看起来是相当的成功，因为一方面要让中国觉得说他没有入侵台湾的这个自由度，或者是说入侵台湾的话可能会碰到反应。那另外一方面，从蒋介石时代开始因为就开始这个行动这种改变所以他们也要避免台湾采取挑衅的行为，让两岸造成这种战争的这个状况这个让美国政府有一个比较高的这个自由度，来针对各种不同的情况来做有他的能力来进行部署了那看不同的情况，美国会做不同的反应如果他看到如果美国看到台湾跟中国之间有爆发战争，他想应该是会有反应，但是困难度是美国的部署离台湾还有一段距离，因此美国政府对台湾的期待是说依赖台湾跟让我们的自卫的能力，然后排拒中国，抵抗中国，一直到其他的国家的那个援助能够到来 伊嘛看到讲咱台湾吼，也能源方面看看是不是针对我们台湾的能源的安全，或者是说我们台湾跟中国之间的经贸依赖程度也要做一个检讨讲看到迄个1996年台海飞弹危机，敢若为了规划咱台湾的迄个股市有大幅下降，对咱台湾的经济造成足大的这影响。所以，若讲咱对中国的这个依赖程度较悬的时阵然后中国对咱台湾的这种封锁的策略，而不会造成国际间对这种局势的一个激烈的反应的话，可能对咱台湾经济也造成真大的影响。伊讲伫美国的太平洋司令部，就是伫夏威夷遮的太平洋司令部，有咧针对迄个中国甲台湾的各种情况有在做筹划。有关的在撤退的计划计划伊讲美国政府有咧做这个啦其他国家嘛有啦伊知影讲原来足济台湾人然后战争开始，伊嘛想要撤退所以这是其他国家拢共款，就在上重要的就是讲美国这个模糊政策，伫过去这几年来底是相当成功的。
好，多谢。